stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. I'll ask the recorder treasurer to call the roll. Call the meeting to order.
Barnes. Hastings.
Here.
Lynch.
Here.
Pistol.
Here.
Ward.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
In front of you, to have the agenda. I'll entertain a motion second to approve the agenda as presented.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Hastings.
Here.
Lynch.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Here.
Williams.
Yes.
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 Okay. Sitting here.
Sean got him started.
Yep.
You also have the minutes of February 13th meeting and the monthly financials in front of you. I'll entertain a motion in a second to accept those as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion on those? If not, I'll ask for a vote for approval.
Hastings.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. That brings us down to department head report. First we have is Airport Commission. We have Trevor Dawson with us for
Hey,
airport.
I'm back.
Lead off better.
Yeah. So the airport's been meeting more with North Arc and with the high school, and we've gotten pretty far. So North Arc has added an aviation course to their course catalog for 2025 for concurrent credit. And they're relying on the airport to build a facility to rent before August 25, or on August 25. So we've got this building right over here available, and so we're working toward that. So the airport's got our engineering firm, Grimes Engineering. So he's assessed the building, looked at it from a code standpoint, and the building is actually in pretty good shape. It's an old school metal truss building, and there's every reason to use it because it's structurally it's in good shape. It needs new siding. Siding's pretty rusty as far as just being sealed, and the inside's pretty rotten just from being a machine shop, and it's pretty old. So the good news is that whole office portion can be gutted all the way down. Not one wall has to stay up because it's just trusses going over to the it's kind of like a lean-to, but it's all one unit. So we can go back, and that's the engineer Joey, and he works with an architect that primarily works on airport properties, and we're leaning on him for ADA stuff, code compliance, fresh air, requirements for commercial stuff. And they're working on renderings and a floor plan to build that. So Monday we'll have that ready for the airport commission to look at and see if we want to go ahead and pursue a grant. Probably to be on the agenda at the aeronautics department in April. So we'll obviously need matching money. I know the airport's got some money, but if you guys are budgeting, it would be helpful just to help us get this school in place in time. Is the main key. So that's most of what I've got for airport. You remember anything else, Mayor?
No, I'll just put that on. I want to tell everybody under public comments by April 10th. We want to see what our finances are and what we want to try to proceed with.
Right, and I'll have, like I said, I'll have renderings, a floor plan. I'll have a lot more stuff together, and also a cost. Like I said, we're working with quite a bit of grant money also, but there's a 20% match to what we can use right now. We also have more grants available starting in June, but we've already allocated those towards this facility up here. So we want to try to put everything on an 80-20 grant on this building right next to us. That's kind of our plan. I'm taking that, and the airport commission's updated on that too. So Monday we'll vote to move forward probably, because that's when I have the floor plan. They can look at it and vote if they want to move forward on pursuing that grant.
Y'all meet Monday too, don't you? Okay, that was one of my questions for the auditorium road. I had meeting Monday the 17th at noon. John Wells, I think, is going to try to send a quote tomorrow. I got to get with Doug to send something down to the Municipal League for insurance. Also, I'll talk with Susan. And I did talk to Joey, I think Friday. He went down, or earlier in the week, he went to the FAA convention. And, you know, because ever a governmental entity is like, you know, we don't know where everybody's at on grants. That's a question they all know. So he doesn't know any more than any of us.
Well,
so.
the grant money is on a 5-year congressional spending plan that's already been allocated. The issue is project managers, basically staff, to push this stuff through.
Right.
But the money's still there. It's just who's going to,
Sure.
what engineer is going to set the table at Oak City and approve the plan for whatever, and then get the money out. But the funds are still available.
Yeah, it wasn't an alarming deal at all, but you know, it's just said, boop. You know, I knew I wanted to ask that.
Yeah.
Everybody's asking the same thing.
One more thing I didn't talk to you about, but it would be helpful if the airport had a debit card, because right now anything that we need, Dawson Aircraft pays for and then is reimbursed by the airport commission via check. And at this point, there's so many transactions as far as accounting down there, it's getting difficult to keep up with airport stuff like toilet paper, soap, all of that stuff. I'm having to go to the store and buy on our card and then bill that to the city. It's getting to be a little bit of a headache in our accounting department. Turning that in, getting a hold of Susan, because I'm approved. I can make $500 purchases, but I'm actually getting my card out, or the Dawson Aircraft credit card, and swiping that. It's just too many transactions for getting toilet paper. So, to be frank.
Is that $500 per transaction or per month, or I don't even know?
So if it's anything over $500, I need permission from the. So, and I get permission for stuff less than that, except for like stuff like, you know, glass clean. You know how it goes. It's just little bitty things that, even light bulbs, I gotta do that and expense it out. She's got to receive money and quick. I mean, it's just kind of like no reason to do it that way. But it's up to you guys. They just.
Personally, for tax purposes, the debit card's nicer on the statement of kind of where it was and what you're using it for.
It definitely is easier for accounting, but I mean, that's what Susan does. But you can see from our standpoint, just making billable invoices to the city all the time for really no reason is a little bit of a headache. And making sure that a check is sent to be reimbursed on little bitty things is getting to be tedious. So,
Well, the airport commission, they don't have the authority to get a debit card for you?
no.
They got their own checking account, don't they?
Well, I've got to talk to you. You guys have to approve, like, because we have a checking account, but we only have checks. We don't have a card. Obviously, I don't have a card. I don't write any checks. I don't do any of that. Susan takes care of all of that stuff, but since I'm the airport manager, you know, it's kind of my job to make sure we got soap and lights and all that kind of stuff. So I just have to go pay for it and get reimbursed. But you guys, I think, have to.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I don't know if you need a motion second right now.
If they have a checking account, I don't think there's a problem with them getting a debit card. Is just like having a checkbook.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. There's no difference in a debit card and a checkbook.
I just don't have
There's
it.
no difference.
I just don't have it, and I think that's what.
But what I'm saying is, I think Jeff's right on I think the airport commission, if y'all have a checking account, should have the ability to just say, okay, we're going to get a debit card for this account.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's no commission or there's no council action that I can think of that you need to do. It's just a matter of, is it in your budget? Does it meet your airport commission rules on what you're allowed to spend and not spend? If it's in your budget, it is. How you get to that point is a decision that Richard can make with you. And yeah.
Well, they send me up here. Go talk to the council.
I
It don't cost anything to get a debit card.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll defer to Dina if she can think of something that
Yeah, if it's
she's worried about it on an audit standpoint. But
That's
You don't keep up with your receipts, you'll get written up.
but yeah,
Yes, that is a major problem
Well,
there.
of course, but
And for,
the question
I would
is-
suggest credit
yeah.
card before I would a debit card. Just so that you have your credit card and it's not coming out of your checking account, so you don't overdraw, because no one else keeps up with it but Susan. So that was my suggestion.
Either that or
And then-
open a separate bank account just for that and just
For a
use
credit
it for
card?
expenses.
Pardon?
Another bank account just to run a debit card for expenses.
I would not. When y'all have so many so many accounts.
Trying to keep up with.
Yeah.
The airport commission has more than one checking
a
account.
lot of them.
They don't. They have two, but yes.
However, whatever.
I mean, it'd still be like you couldn't spend over a certain amount without prior approval
just a
and all
little
that.
bit.
It might not be as easy for them to get a credit card as it would be a debit card. I don't know.
It might not be as easy. You're right. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll go to the commission again, and we'll.
We don't have any issue with it. It sounds like.
Yeah, and there's nothing for us to vote on. It's
I don't
just,
have no problem with it.
and it's going to be a lot easier for a commission to review bank statements monthly to show all the
Well, I remember last time we had the Eclipse deal, and we needed council approval to take money. So we can't take money at all. Like we're gonna have an event and sell things. The airport doesn't. We can't receive any. We don't have any point of sale system. Not that we absolutely need it right now, but I remember I had to get, and I think to have a card, you have to be named on the account, and who gets in the.
It's going to be someone that, like, it has to be me, and I'm on their accounts now. And I don't know if Richard is.
I'm on one of their accounts because Susan comes and has me sign checks.
Don't put me on it.
You're on the airport commission.
And now,
Yeah.
is there a rule where two people have to sign each check? Any transaction?
Yeah, and they have that now in place, because she either gets Jeff or myself to do that.
That'd be one thing where a credit card actually makes more sense because.
And that's what we do as the water department. We do credit card, and then we have to have the receipt, and then we pay that credit card receipt with a check out of whatever
And then
account.
then we're complying with our two signature rule. So I think you're right. A credit card's what you have to do. Yeah.
However, y'all. She'd know. She's the one that's got to deal with it.
We at school, we got a bank card. I don't know if that's considered a debit card, but it's through Regions, and it's still tied to the school account, but it's a quote bank card, and it can be issued out to anybody, I guess, at that point. But I don't know if it's any different. But the credit card's the easiest,
It
For
is
sure.
easiest for
and a
record keeping.
better document. It'll show a whole lot better document on a credit card statement wise.
Thanks. I'm glad we got trusses over there. Might be beat down there or whatever. I mean, jump in, someone say. However it works best with Dina, suits me.
That was my problem.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do.
Yeah, it'll be Susan and I that has to do that. It'll be Susan and I that has to do that, because he can't go and get a credit card in the city's name.
I'm not old enough.
I was
You got one at home. I can hear it crying when I got out of the house. So I know you got a little one. Thank you. Anything else?
We're knock on wood.
Thank you. You
Okay.
appreciate it.
Adios.
Fidelity and everything. Thank you. See you Monday, if not before.
Okay.
Brings us down to the animal control. Rita's not with us tonight. I'm going to read a report I put in front of y'all. Y'all should have it. Have 26 dogs and 13 cats. One of the dogs is on a hold from an arrest that was made. They adopted out 2 cats and a dog at the event Saturday, March the 8th from like 9 to 9. So pretty slow. She picked up 4 dogs downtown and 6 cats were trapped. Placed 2 dogs in foster, and the dogs are going to be adopted by those foster families, so we're grateful for that. Just making sure it's a good fit. Looks like it is. She had 42 calls into the shelter for animal assistance last month. She had to go on 15 calls that included Fraser, Poplar, 3rd Street, Clinton, in Clinton, School Street, Thomas, Baptist Street, Choctaw Shell Station, Jason Street, 8th Street, and Memory Lane, and had 2 exhaust fans fixed. Leland Nixon went up there and got on that. Also, what do I have under that? She did mention there's a structural issue with the back, one of the doors that goes to the exterior wall, a block. I don't think the block are filled. I said, man, Dewey will go up there Saturday and Sunday and knock that out. And no problem. I didn't know. No. I do want to go look at that and take someone who knows what they're talking about. It sounds like it may just, somebody knows what they're talking about.
Gotcha.
Be an easy fix. We'll go look at that. It's your convenience. Sewer did have a leak. They fixed a broken elbow that went into the grinder. Grinder pump's doing good. Everything good. Zach DeBate went up there and bam, got it going, not a problem. I've mentioned that adoption they had on that all day. Talked to Melanie Beltran today. I think her and Chad are working on the trust. She's just looking for itemized list of expenses, and I think she'll be able to have access to that trust. She takes over the 501c3 April the 1st. And same thing I said with the airport and the grants. Everybody's right now, it's like, how are the grants going? So that could be an issue. Done a great job, and I know she's full up right now. Been getting a lot of infiltration of animals in the city, and they're doing all they can do. I appreciate her working with the cats. I know we've had several complaints on that, and police department, and everybody's doing the best they can. So.
She gonna switch over on that 501c?
What's that? Yeah.
That unobligates us to haul trash off. I mean, right now it's eating up my trash budget for street and parks.
It may be. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, we'll hammer out the details. And getting a lot of trash.
Yeah. Sometimes we go up there and it's a whole truckload.
And we'll look too. And I'm kind of making sure, the structural parts, he's ready to go, but. I'll address that next
It's
week.
heavy. It usually ends up being bags of kitty litter and fleas and everything else. So the guys are really getting eat up with fleas and stuff every time they go up there to get it.
Could use that. We'll put it in concrete.
Yeah, she needs a dumpster.
Fill it. Airport. School. That's all I have on that. Anything else? I'll find out. Thank you. Brings us down to Fire Department Report Chief D.L. Webb.
We've been busy this month. We did have a structure fire at 278 Main Street, which luckily we was able to contain that to the back of the room, and if anybody drove around the court square, they couldn't even tell there was a fire there. So pretty proud of that. Grass fire, 4695 Highway 65 South. We had a grass fire, 217 Edna Road. Had a vehicle fire, or a call for a vehicle fire at Taco Bell. They had it out by the time we got there. We've done 2 fire inspections this month. I also met with 2 different businesses in town that are looking to change their businesses up, add like a coffee bar or something like that, make sure it's okay. And we worked a concession stand for the basketball regional tournament. That's what we've been doing this month. I would like to make a request or a motion from y'all to transfer some money from the fire truck fund to the rent of the building fund, because we still have the rent that we're paying Justin. And instead of just an amount, just make it to where Dana can just pull it out and pay it. We should be done with it in a couple of months when they get done with the building. But that way there's not a set fee and she can just handle it out of that.
Okay. A motion to
How much money?
Allow Dina to pull out of the fire truck fund until we're not needing to.
Does it need a cap? I don't know.
At the most, they've got till June to be done at the most, and they think they can get done before.
Yeah, I mean, once we're done, we're done. But that way, if they happen to hit a snag or something, I don't have to come back and ask. She can go ahead and just take it out of that. They should be done by the 1st of June.
But I mean, you could cap it at $6,000, and that's.
I mean, can we just make an open motion with however much money you need? I didn't know we could do that. I thought there had to be a.
No, it's just leaving it open to where she can pay it without having to come back and ask. I mean, we can do that if you want to. It don't matter to me, but it just make it
We can
easier
say
on her.
up to, if you want to,
Well, they're gonna have to have
$6,000,
a-
I guess.
a cap,
whatever.
but I'm not
And I'll just move it monthly though.
Sure.
I'm not going to move it all at once.
Sure.
just so I don't have to move it back.
Like at the beginning of the year when we set budget, we didn't know how long we would still be in that building.
Well, how much is the monthly rent?
It's what, $1,000?
So
And we'd only put
About
2,500.
2,000 should do
We're
it.
500 in the hole right now.
Yeah.
April, May, hopefully, and then
They're hoping to be done by the end of
most
April.
So you put
30,000
so
a
try to say
month?
4,000. You transfer 3,500, that gets you back to zero. Because you said you're 500 in the hole right now, and then you have 3 more months you can pay.
Yeah.
It's fine if you don't do it that way. We may just whatever is easiest.
I'll make a motion to add the 3,500 to pay the rent for
Second.
the next 3 months.
Any other discussion?
Well, I'm just thinking, like I was saying, you know, if something blows up, and it's set July.
So
we can always get another 1,000. We'll have meetings between them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got 3
Yeah.
months.
We can come back and change it. We need to.
They'll be done.
Part 5, anything
If
else?
something blows.
They got too much money tied up in it.
I'll
Looks to
ask-
me like that building, you can move it in there now.
Getting really close. Really
It's
close.
looking pretty good.
I've tried that. Just to your point, I did try that. It's an insurance issue with their insurance because I asked if as soon as they got it bay, could we go ahead and move that truck in?
Because it's got to be locked up and somebody.
Well, if something happened, say the building caught fire while they're still building it and burnt the truck up, it'd be on them. And they're like, no, we don't want that.
They don't want you bringing your family and dogs up there either while you're working.
Are we still gonna build a helipad out back?
Not at this time. That's something I'll
We got a
discuss
motion and a second to transfer 3,500. Any other discussion on that? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. Speaking of the new building, it's coming along really good. They're still on pace to be done. He's still hoping for the end of April. I took the last fire meeting we had. We met up at it's good enough we met at the new fire station the fire department did to do a little walk around. You can actually see the rooms and how it's going to be laid out. They still have to finish sheetrock, that kind of thing on the inside, wiring, but they're moving around pretty good. We did loan out, just for y'all's knowledge, 600 foot of fire hose to the highway department today. They have a project they're wanting to do on 16 East, and they asked if they could borrow some fire hose so they can try to do this project, and so I loaned that out, get it back from them, no big deal. And I know we'll have a meeting before Easter, but Easter Sunday is April the 20th, and we plan on doing our Easter egg hunt in the city park, if that's still fine with y'all to be able to use the city park Easter Sunday.
Yeah, nobody will have a problem with that. You don't need any action on that, do you? Motion second to approve the Easter egg hunt on the
I make a
20th.
motion, we approve the Easter egg hunt on April 20th.
Second.
An hour is necessary.
I would, yeah. Well, we'll start at 2:00. That'll give everybody time to get home from church. But yeah, I'd prefer the city council so that somebody comes down there and decides to practice softball, and we go, hey, no, wait a minute.
Sure.
Yeah, 1 to 4, 12 to 5, whatever.
Oh, it won't take 15 minutes for them to get them up. So we'll start at 2. So say 1:00 to 3.
1 to 3. Motion?
I already made the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any other discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Other than that, if y'all have any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them.
Donkey basketball. What day is that on?
Saturday.
Saturday? Are you in it?
No, I probably won't be here Saturday.
I am.
I've never played donkey basketball.
6:30, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's at Clinton and Southside.
At
Saturday
the
night.
same time? Oh, wow.
Well, so Saturday, okay,
Everyone had
that,
donkeys.
I wanted to get that, and then
Yeah.
also appreciate the AT&T tower, that kind of, didn't really fall under zoning, but someone called about wanting to put something add on to that tower up there at, whatever the location is. 251. And anyway, you're working with them, make sure it doesn't mess up our frequency, or if there is a problem, they can fix what we've already got, so I appreciate that.
I've talked to her with AT&T. They're going to do an FCC check because we've had trouble with our radios, and that was about the time that tower went in.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to do some FCC checks to see what they can find, if it's them or somebody that's on that tower that is interfering with not only us, but it helped with 911 and anything south of town. So hopefully we get that resolved.
That might be for the best. Good deal. Anything else for the chief? Thank you. Brings us down to Parks and Recreation Department, Charles Wilson.
Don't have a whole lot. We've been pushing pretty hard trying to get fields ready. I think we've got everybody playing right now. We still got one more field left at the big park, but I think we got the baseball boys ready to start playing, other than they got some dirt coming, and then I'll have to get some turfers, but all that'll fall into play in the next few weeks, I hope. So it actually turned out pretty decent. I mean, we got some field dirt to haul, but we'll do that as we go along, but it's all playable. So I think Craig's tickled. He's getting pretty excited about it, because they don't have to go vacuum water off of this one. They can just show up after the rain and play.
Yeah, you did good. You laid out the soccer fields. I wanted to mention that. So.
Yeah, we done a little field for them. That girl was very, very appreciative. Very nice young lady come out and thanked us while we was doing it. Got some of that, and we're going to level some more up for her. We filled a bunch of holes, but we was running low on dirt and time, so we'll get back out again.
Okay. Anything else I had? What did I have?
We got the scoreboards. I had to work on scoreboards. Lots of damage from the adult league playing softball, banging balls into the scoreboard. They're just full of dents and knocked out some of the lights. I've got lights ordered and some other stuff ordered for them. So they're just covered in dents and riddled with dents from softballs. And a couple of them hit just right where they got in there and knocked out one of the power supplies. Hit and bent it and damaged the power supply. So, I mean, if we want to just continue with what we're doing there with the adult league, that's great, but it's going to cost us eventually.
Anything else for?
I don't guess y'all started mowing yet, have you?
Yes,
Yeah.
we've mowed a couple times just to get cleaned up.
Yeah.
Get some leaves ground and get stuff cleaned up. Finally got most of everything. Done some bush hogging today and pushed some stuff back off the walk trail.
Yeah. Mine's over there. It looked pretty good.
Yeah, I walked it this morning and seen a bunch of leaves and a bunch of low brush. So I pushed it back so ladies wouldn't have to worry about snakes. They could see what was going on. We went through and fixed all the lights but 4, I believe.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
We've got, I didn't see it on Facebook.
Yeah.
We just
somebody was thanking y'all for fixing the lights on Facebook. I don't know what it was. I can't remember.
I got all those people blocked. So, but yeah, we did plug at that today. I'll walk it in the morning and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
I had that soccer. I had baseball, softball field. Looks good. You done that's awesome. Appreciate the hard work. Y'all made a lot of hay while the sun shine, and that worked out really good. Park related events. I think we'll have the Metro Bass, and maybe I think the Devon Day. I hadn't talked to with his father there. The moms had talked to him. They may or may not use that park, as of right now I don't think they are. Metro Bass is that April, the same time at first week in April, but it's not an issue. If we need to move Metro Bass, we can relocate, no problem.
It's always panned out real good, so it's always panned out real good for Metro. They've never been in the way, and usually them guys come in and they're back out pretty quick. So,
well, if whatever here wants to use it, that's fine. A&P, I have the 27th. We better change that to what, the 20th next week, and zoning, because it's spring break. Someone told me, so I'm just going to mention that right now. I'll probably change that back to the 20th. One thing, in an A&P meeting, we meet the same time with the zoning, usually the last Thursday of the month, and this time it'll be on the 20th, 6 o'clock on zoning, and then immediately following is A&P. So we're working on Archie Fest. We're looking maybe on the second weekend in June as opposed to the last week in June, which would be a definite time change. that's kind of gearing around availability for a carnival. We were going to move it up a lot earlier this year, and that didn't work out. So we're looking at the second week in June. And that'll be complete with everything, and the fireworks will be at the same time, as far as I know. But we'll meet again on the 20th, about 6:30 right here. Also, and this really isn't under park, but next week or month, I want to look at there's some not playground equipment, but like benches and swings and stuff. Someone had sent some information to City Hall, made out of the Scott West. You see those big turbines, you know, the windmills, and someone's refurbishing those, and a great job. It's fiberglass with epoxy over it, to last forever. Probably pricey, but not as, if you look at, I'm going to bring some handouts for that next month. I'd let y'all help me decide. You know, usually it's like, that's too high. I'll get some prices, but it'll last forever, and it looks really good. So that just came to us, and I definitely want to look at that. I did want to mention that under parks. Also, Donnie Chambers is with us tonight. And I told him we're next month on the 10th, we're going to decide, and I'll go over the issues that we want to discuss, the big issues, how much money we want to spend on which project. But he's the solar light, and he gave it, we've all got the handout for what he had presented. And I was still talking, not doing 65, but maybe doing the pilot, you know, the 1 and 2. But I said, yeah, come tonight, give us 3 minutes or whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I think in the last council meeting, you know, we quoted 3 different scopes, and there were some areas like downtown that we didn't price because we think that there's some, you know, really nice approaches that we could take around the square that could be made into a bigger project for you all with some of the local businesses. But the pilot being the smaller area, the skate park, the kiddie park, and then that memorial area, parking lots. That's one piece, and then the park, and then Highway 65. I think in the last council meeting I mentioned that there's a lot of opportunity to find ways to bring the cost down on Highway 65. I mentioned working with your police department, maybe your fire department, and partnering on traffic control, because it's a requirement on a state highway. And if we can partner, then maybe that's money you don't have to spend. But I did ask the supplier, tariffs, everything is out there. Trying to hold his prices as best I can. But then last time we talked, there is savings with combining the pilot and the park together. And that's what I recommended to the mayor. Even if you had the money to appropriate for all the scopes, I would suggest starting with the pilot and the park, because you know there's cost savings there. Then let us get out here, find efficiencies, work with your team, and see if we can't draw the price down for Highway 65. So even if the money was appropriated, I think that's the right way to do it. And I'm just here if you have questions about the lights, about our approach, anything you'd like us to change.
Well, I think, like I told you, it'll come down to, hey, here's the things, the big item things, and that'd be a big item. And here's the bottom line, the cost for each one, and then I'll try to get to the council at least a week before the next council meeting and say where we're at. But I do appreciate you coming up. You know, I told you know you've been persistent, and if you've got any questions for him, or you pick up the phone and call you, I've got his number.
Of course, nobody I guess knows anything about the funds, any kind of turnback, because it's all up.
The IRA funds?
Well, whatever the percentage that we might get back.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that has yet to complete the project and work with your attorney and the accountants to, you know, apply for those as part of your tax process. We don't manage that portion. What we would do is make sure that we are.
So that's a tax relief, not a federal fund.
It's a credit, IRA credits. Credit, yeah. So the rebates. So our job is to make sure that you qualify for the maximum amount, and how we do the job and the materials we put in front of you.
I was under the impression last time that we was up in the air if it was going to.
Yeah, I've talked to
going or not.
So I work with a lot of the planning and development districts and state agencies like the ANRC, and I've talked to different heads of those departments, and some of them have given me opinions that, hey, this was congressionally appropriated, so it's good. And then some of them said, I don't know. I don't want to make any promises. I know that if it stays in place, this product and this solution is eligible.
I don't think anyone knows right now, so, but
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I think you asked a question there.
Best thing I'm trying to manage for you right now is to hold that price as long as I can. Because when we get quotes on the materials, with the metal, when the tariffs started coming, I immediately called the supplier and said, can you hold this at least until April? Give these guys time to make a decision. If not, then...
If it changes, you can give me a shout, but I do appreciate you. Any other questions for, you can stick around or head out, but
Just wanted to make myself available. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm available to you all.
thank you. Anything else on parks for Charles or anybody again? Thanks, Donnie. Drive safe and slow. Brings us down to street department. Same supervisor, Charles Smith or Charles Wilson.
Not had a whole lot, but we've been, like I said, we've been kind of trying to get all the kids where they could play some ball. Got that done. We did put out some cold mix and got some other stuff going. I'm wanting to move some money so I can pick up a new skid steer, and I mean, I've got plenty of money in there to move to pick it up. The machine itself's $92,000, but I want to get a bush hog for it and a couple of other pieces of post auger. Seems like we need one of those quite often. So I want to get a post auger, and I have a couple of attachments that'll fit and work on it. So I'd like to move about $110,000, then what I've got in there should get everything I need.
Okay, you know what it, from what?
I'll leave that with Tina.
He's got excess revenue from previous years, so we'll put that in the revenue part, revenue from previous years, and then we will use it out of that, and it will come out of his machinery and equipment.
Okay, you need to move motion and second, move 110,000 from revenue from previous years
I have 20
to
in there,
machinery
so
and
I'll pick
equipment.
up the other pieces. Or do you want to go ahead and move?
I say let's just appropriate up to 150 because he doesn't have the taxes and all that.
150?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
just to be safe. And he wants what, the skid steer? What else?
It's a bush hog and then a post auger, and that should get me going pretty decent. I mean, this machine's going to help us a lot.
You won't be borrowing somebody else's stuff or paying or
Yeah.
you can get in a lot of that.
It's hard to borrow somebody's stuff.
It's a great piece
It's
of
hard to
equipment.
get somebody to
So
come
it's a
in.
motion and second to move
To
$150,000.
appropriate up
Appropriate.
to
Up to, I'm
150,000.
sorry.
Yes.
To move up to $150,000 from revenue from previous year line item to machinery and equipment.
So moved.
Any other discussion or questions for Charles?
Got any other equipment, that mowers or anything that's
Looking
in
at
the
a truck.
process?
Looking at a truck, I mean, we're just about down on vehicles. I mean, we've got that one small one that I'm driving, but the others are getting pretty old, pretty rough. One of them we got 10 years ago from the water department. Had a couple 100,000 miles on it, but we're still keeping it moving.
Anymore?
Yes,
So, but anyway,
there's a reason they're parked.
well. and
Charles
with
is a better mechanic than I am, though.
With this new machine, we're looking at getting a little heavier truck, and I would like to get a 3/4 ton or maybe a little bigger. That way I can get a snow plow on it, get it all, and then it'll pull the skid steer and all that stuff like we need.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of that too, a trailer that will haul that skid steer.
we have the trailer already. We have all that. We just, I mean, right now, Dodge and Ford's the only ones, and they don't have the Ford that I need right now. And I'd really rather have a Ford because I've put one of those to the test. When you hook a snow plow to a truck, it makes or breaks it. And that thing struggling through the snow, trying to push snow, it makes or breaks a vehicle real quick. So, but we'll hold off on that until I can actually get one on state bid that's what we really want, what we really need. So we'll push through with what we got.
Okay. Anything?
We've got some big paving projects coming up.
We need to vote
On that, yeah. on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion and second. Any other discussion? Thank you, Dewey. I'll call for a vote.
Barnes,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Didn't mean to
We
interrupt.
got a big paving project coming up, so they're fixing to mill and pave Volunteer Parkway all the way down to Walmart, all the way past to Shake Rag Road and down into the county dump. And I'm gonna try to push them all the way up as far as I can. And if the county wants to add that little bit and get theirs all the way into their scale, I think it'll be beneficial to them. And then while they're here, I mean, this is gonna be a real low cost to the city. It's only gonna, somewhere in around 30,000 is gonna be our part of paving all this and grinding it. So I wanna add that strip of shake rag from all the way down to where that turns in and get all of that done. Hope Medical's got a bunch of holes and a bunch of bad stuff, so I want to clean all that up while they're there. So, and I have the money in the budget. I mean, it may kick me back on some of the other stuff I want to pave, but this is really high excess roads that really need to be took care of. So we'll get them
And
cleaned
that'd
up.
be from Walmart back all the way down.
All the way down Shake Rag.
Okay.
It'll be that whole,
Volunteer,
yeah,
265.
65 at Walmart to 65 at Shake Rag, all that back.
You got Paleo, you got the concrete plant, you got Pettigene. I mean, obviously, Claude Klink from State Aid came up, and we had talked about, we've been on that State Aid trying to use some of that overlay or work for if we get that road to the auditorium. That is going forward, the road to the auditorium, you see the hill. But the second part of that, our backup plan, was what Charles talked about. We had talked about even putting in Randy McCaslin's been wanting a new tile in there, right past Walmart toward the transfer station. That little
We've got two
phone
tile
box
sets there. We'll have to set. We need to set one there, right at the four-way stop, just a little bit down. When they come in and done some kind of burying some kind of stuff with gas lines or something and messed up one of our old tiles, which it was rotten anyway. But we're going to set one there and then set another one, and that should help some of the drainage up there for McCaslin.
Yeah, and Claude was talking about the state aid, so we have $300 for that, or $300,000 on that. That could get that, and maybe even look up with a new fire station. He said anything in that area that close, you can talk to whoever gets the bid. Like you said, you can get some things done right there in the area and get your biggest spots and your worst part of your worst streets while they're here. Have a dollar figure on that, as soon as we can get to it, definitely by the April meeting. And then he called today back. He came up and visited with us and had a great visit. And he emailed us today, and we're going to reapply for that state aid Monday or this coming week for the next cycle. Don't know how long the turnaround is, but he was very helpful. I mentioned the auditorium roads being cleaned off. I've talked to David Ross, and the tie-in is something that I think if they're not going to make it too hard on us, we can shape it with dirt. Definitely want to talk to the school board and superintendent and look at their plans for their sidewalk and see the best place to put that road. Also, they're having a color run Saturday, April the 5th from that's from 8 to 10 a.m. That's for CHS FCCLA for scholarship. That's Valerie Lawson again. We have I'll put this up. I don't know if whoever can see that, but it's the same route. They closed that down, so I was needing a motion in a second to close some streets, Yellow Jacket, parts of Yellow Jacket, Patton, Hall, Frazier, and any adjoining street necessary for Saturday, April the 5th from 7 to 12. Won't use it that long, but we just close them down for that color run, and then I'll put the barrels out the night before and then pull them in place that morning. Should be out there by 10 o'clock, but I need permission to close the streets down. I'll entertain a motion second for that, for those dates.
So moved.
Second.
Any other questions? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Thanks. I also had under streets, and it's more under drainage and erosion, fella down at the Blue Dolphin, always the old Ingrams of the skating rink below the pottery shop. That's flooded. The Blue Dolphin's always flooded. He's got heavy equipment. He's moving that down. I talked to Tim about working the floodplain. That's okay what he's doing. there's a little bit of, when he gets to the end of his property, we'll talk with the city attorney and him, and Charles and I was talking about maybe for next month, see what's available, if we can have an easement, a long-term lease, whatever the situation is, to allow him to go ahead and extend that past his land, because what he's doing now, when it gets to it, it'll be on us, and the phone company has some pretty major stuff down there that you've fixed many times.
And it's exposed again, and he's wanting to daylight it plumb out into the river, which will benefit everybody.
And rip wrap it, and but to see what we can do and what our options are. Can we, if we owned a little strip, could we sell him any of that? Could we long-term lease it? Could we do it ourselves? Could we pay him to do it? Whatever works out best, whatever we decide to do. I just wanted to mention that. That'll be coming up in April. So you can go down there and talk to him when he's down there. He's looking good what he's doing.
Yeah, he's real good at what he does. He does great work. Right.
And also, Clausmeyer, I think, is subbing for our telco. You see some boring around town. I think we printed off a couple of dozen of those street cut. The ordinance we gave them 2 dozen of them to keep in their truck. Charles has talked with them. They'll be here. I've got a printout down at the city hall where all they're going to be. It's our telco laid it out. It needs to be done. But we're keeping an eye on what streets and where they're at. And they've been very good about checking in with us. So I appreciate that. Under streets, I want to go ahead and have a couple of speakers tonight. And we can go in whatever order you want. It was talking about renaming a street. I'll let each person talk. Robert Snyder's here, and his wife's been here and talked about rename a street. And we kind of went back and forth or not. I'll let both folks talk, to yay or nay, then I'll give my opinion, then you can ask questions of them. But I would ask you to limit just 3 minutes, just get up, and Robert, you go ahead and start, and come on up so everybody can hear you. And just state your name and...
Robert Snyder. Everybody, y'all know me. And I just want to thank you for considering this street name change today. And whatever you decide, yay or nay, I will accept it. But I would hope that you would approve it. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you.
Hey guys, Tracy Neal. Listen, I live on Bradford Lane. Robert lives on Fraser, I think it is. Yeah. He wants to change my street name to his name when he gets his mail on Fraser. His house is on Fraser. I've lived on Bradford Lane for 24 years. The only time I ever had to change my address before was 911, which I didn't mind. But with all the paperwork I got to do, resend my Social Security, my retirement, everything, it's not that easy. And I don't know why he wants to do it. Vanity, I have no clue. But I don't need it changed. I don't see a reason to. I know we're broke. I know the city's broke. So that's all I had to say.
Thanks. I hope we're not broke. Well, we may be. I mean, probably got Dina there instead of me. But I'll give my sense. Now, I do know Robert, know you, Tracy, and know your spouse, and that came up from her. She had mentioned why she wanted to change it to Snyder, and I appreciate that. We did have one issue, and I want to give you my opinion because I don't want to just for what it's worth, it doesn't matter. But we had talked about changing the street early last year, I think, and kicked it around, and that was a case of it wasn't going to affect anybody's mailing, any legal. The owner was willing to change. They actually had put the road in there, and it was just a continuation. Didn't want to change anything. We decided not to do that. This is a case of 911 addresses. If it changes any deeds, a lot of people say, "Well, I've talked to the owners, and well, see, if you rent, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we do get your mail there." Even the owners sometimes say, "Well," and neighbors. And I've heard opposition against it. I have nothing against. I know Robert forever down at PAX, and never been anything but helpful. I've never heard anything bad on him ever. And someone else proposed that, but just looking at it, will it cost will there be any legal issues or any cost to the city? And I think there would be if someone has to start changing their address. Now, I don't know, Chad can correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as we put in a new street and you want to name it Will Hinchy or Charles Wilson or whatever, it suits me down to the ground. I think we've been through this on another street. I think nothing against Robert or pro or for against him, but you decide what you want to do. I would say, in my opinion, if it's a tie vote, I'd probably say leave it as it is. But I didn't have to give you that, but I didn't want to throw it on y'all like I wanted to do it, but they didn't want to. That's just my bottom line. So I'll entertain any discussion on that. But Robert needs an answer, and they all need an answer.
I need one for sure.
And
has the street sign been replaced? Because I know for a while there.
If there's no action, it'll stay the same.
One there. Yeah, there's one there. It's covered up with bushes in that corner.
It's there. Somebody took it. It's not there no more.
I can't hear anything.
The Bradford Lane
I mean,
side.
that's okay. I was talking to Charles. I can't hear him except when he gets mad. Then I can hear him from the house.
So there's not, it hadn't been replaced.
Didn't know it was missing. Last time
I know y'all considered this. It's not, you're not taking it not serious, and you did the other one too, but
I don't want to come into a problem like we did on the other, personally. It seemed like we kicked it down the road a bunch, but it was ultimately there was a dispute, and there's always probably going to be a dispute every time that anything gets changed like that.
My personal opinion is we shouldn't do anything unless we go back and, if we were going to change that one, then we should have changed the other one.
Right. Yeah. And if we change it, it'll never stop.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I've been hearing.
We kind of went down this road last year.
Yeah.
I'm unaware of anything out there that says here are the steps you have to take when you name a road. So it's as far as legal challenges or anything, I think the city has a right to do it. I think it's a practical question. And I'll say this: they changed up 911 numbers. I don't know, 20 years ago downtown. It's been a long time. People still get it screwed up.
Yeah,
like 20 years later, people are still screwing up the numbers downtown because they did. They went from like 193 to 203 or something, and people are still getting messed up. Like we had to correct the title company when we bought the old library for the new city police station. We had to go back and correct the title company because they were using the old 911. Yeah.
So, yeah, and I'm even having an issue with someone saying I don't want that street, that maybe not even be a street named after that person. And I'm checking to see if there's any mailing or I don't know. I didn't even tell you that, counselor. So, but anyway, anything else? Anybody want the last word on that? Okay. Thank you both for coming. Appreciate your decorum, both of you. Brings us down to anything else for Charles? Attend the color run. Brings down Police Department report, Jay Murdoch, not Jay Chalk. Okay, Murdoch.
Whoa.
Tim Clark look alike.
You have my report, that's all.
We got.
Tracy has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't hear if you guys voted on that or not.
We didn't vote. We did no action. It'll remain the same. So, thank
Far
you.
out.
Thanks.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, all you guys.
Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Jay.
Murdoch.
Yes, Jay Murdoch. Chief Murdoch.
Well, sorry to disappoint you guys. I'm not going to be in donkey basketball either. Other than just our normal stuff, we've helped the school district police department with security for the regional tournament. We had guys pretty much there the whole time. Had two of my officers, Officer Dufresne and Baker, graduated instructor development today, so we now have 3 instructors at the department. We're going to assist the school district with the color run, and that's about all we got going on. just kind of trucking along.
They did do us a favor and put out a fire.
Oh yeah.
Without having to call us.
Yeah, we put out a fire the other day. It's not as impressive as it sounds. There's a roll of toilet paper on fire.
In my bathroom?
No, not in your bathroom. We were actually on a call for service, and there's just a random roll of toilet paper on fire. So
That's why you weren't bragging about it.
well, I opened the joke up.
I'm just giving him kudos. I appreciate everybody working together.
So now I want one of those sweet jerseys the fire department got. It says Murdoch on the back. You know, I was kind of jealous of those.
I think one of the big item things next month will be the remodel of the police station. And as always, you want me to mention you're going to be asking for 2 cars, and we can rent that out. And you want to try to get that done before the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah, so I'm getting to the point that some of my cars are getting higher mileage because we've gone 2 years with no cars because of the way the budget's kind of shook out. But I'm getting to the point where I need to buy some. And right now, the all-wheel drive V6 Durangos are at a set price. But I was told the other day that after June 1st, the state's new fiscal year, the price is going to go up about $8,000 per unit. So I'm kind of wanting to get these before the price jumps, if you guys will let me.
That'll be on the item for sure. And then the remodeling, I've got to get busy on getting estimates. Anything else for the chief?
I had a question on somebody apparently between the movie theater and, well, right by, pretty close to the Catholic church. There was somebody that had a suitcase there, and they were off in the woods on the east side of 65. I didn't know if y'all had gotten any calls about.
So that person was actually squatting in Bobby Nixon's old house.
Okay.
And we had to go in there and run her out. The property owner didn't want us to press charges on her because she's obviously indigent. Then we got a call on her last night. The county got a call on her today. She's the one that, when we had that really cold snap and people were buying her hotel rooms. So somehow she moved from Florida, ended up in Clinton, and just hasn't left. And we've tried to get her down to Conway to the women's shelter, and she just refuses to get in the police car and drive to Conway. Like, that's what we tried to do last night. We were going to get her to the women's shelter in Conway, and she just flat refused. So we've done, as a police department, just about everything we can to help her.
I just did. I had a couple of people ask me kind of what might have been going on, and I told them I had no idea.
Yeah, I think she's staying at Choctaw Park now.
Okay. Anything else for the chief? Thank you. You need a jet?
No, sir. I got it.
All right. Brings down the Water and Sewer Department report. Will Hinchy.
All right. I told you guys last month that with all that mud coming into the lake and everything, chemical costs will probably go up. So it did. We're at 12 cents per thousand, real close to 13 cents per thousand. Water loss was 27% for the entire system. I don't want to tell you what Burnt Ridge's is because it's bad. 60% at Burnt Ridge. It jumped, and I can check currently daily, and we're still sitting at 60%. So right now we've got 40,000 gallons a day going through that master meter, which doesn't sound like a lot for a water system, but we only selling 16,000 a day. So it's up there. A couple small leaks. Denard's down to 30 from 45. I ended with that, but 27% for the entire system. I do want to go. I throw this out at the board meeting earlier. We actually started being active at B Branch about mid-December when they were out for that time, and at that time they were running about almost 600,000 gallons a day, and they're down to about mid 350 a day now. So it has dropped tremendously. So we are being active in B Branch because it's coming. B Branch Water Office, for the people out there listening on Facebook or seeing this online, it will be closed. The office will be closed by the end of the month. So first of the month bills will be taken in Clinton Water Office, can be taken through the post office, still at B Branch at this time. You can still mail it there. We will be changing that later, but not at this time. Clinton Post Office, it can be our post office box. It can be sent there. We put all that information out there. We posted it on their door in B Branch. But if anybody has any questions, please call Clinton Water Office before it becomes an issue. We can still take online pay. Still, if you're set up on direct deposit, we're working on swapping all that over. It can still be done. If you've got an account there, it should still be switched over. We are working on getting on B Branch's accounts now. We'll be starting to do all their accounting and everything out of Clinton Water Office first of the month. So Donna's been busy.
So those on automatic draft won't have to do anything different?
No. We're working on getting all that stuff. Now, there has been some hiccups, saying that switching it, so if you've got a certain bank, they're wanting us to send them minutes from B Branch's office and stuff, but we're trying to take care of that. I hope they get to meet. We had to do a little bit different stuff. The banks have worked with us, because B Branch didn't meet last month. They didn't have a quorum. Hopefully we'll meet Monday. We need to meet Monday. The banks have started the process, but they would still like it to be in the minutes. So we're going to try to get that. So it's been a challenge, but so far things are working out fairly well. There will be hiccups. I apologize to everybody right now if you're a B Branch customer, but we will work with you. Right now, I know the Dropbox issue, there's been a lot of people bring to me that they would like to have a Dropbox at B Branch. The only issue with that is security. At the current water office will be closed. We are closing that building down there. There's a rental. They've got it rented up till the end of June, but after that, we really don't have a safe spot to have a Dropbox. So, but we will, take those complaints in Clinton office, and we'll definitely consider them if we can come up with another way of payment besides. But we still do direct withdrawal. You can still do bank draft. You can still do online pay. And of course, you can Dropbox at Clinton Water Office. If you got to come to town and go to Walmart, bring it by. But
there's a post office at B Branch, right?
There is a post office at B Branch, and that's where it's mailed to. So you can still mail that.
Yeah, you can mail it. Yeah.
Will that post office box stay active?
We're looking at that to see what it would take for us to switch that over as well. It's not ideal, but I got to go to B Branch daily anyway. So, but yeah, we are going to look into getting that all switched over. But if you're going to mail it to a post office box, Clinton's is 277. So you can always send it to that address.
So that don't really help much. You're going to the post office, drop the letter, where it goes.
Yeah. So you could just put it in the out of town, and it'd get to us as well. So there's lots of questions out there. They're getting questioned. What's their rate going to be? Is it going to go up? The board was talking about doing a rate increase now. Well, I've held off on that. I'd like to see what ANRC says. We have started. The engineers are looking in. They're getting the guidelines same as they did for our increases. Basically, we will be increasing it to whatever ANRC lets us get by with. We're not wanting to just raise it a lot, but I really can't answer those concerning questions right now, except we won't raise it any more than what they tell us we have to.
So you're saying the minimum they'll let us get by with?
The minimum they'll let us get by with, and see how it works,
They just had a rate here about 6 months ago, didn't they? Rate, B Branch?
Not that I was aware of. They did about a year ago. I was at the meeting. So,
well, maybe 6 months or so ago they had one. Okay. That night we were down there,
that was a year ago.
Sammy, I feel your pain, buddy.
Hey, I'm glad time's flying by. But no, so this last month was a year from the time that they had increased it before, and that's when they started talking about it. My recommendation that we held over until we were seeing what was really coming in and going out. So we will be handling all that in our office starting at the end of the month.
Jason just texted me and said our color looks good to him, so thank you. Anything else for Will?
We do have lots of, you've seen stuff start working in town. I've had several people ask me, what's that big long pipe that they're putting together? That is going to be your new sewer lines. I do want to apologize. It's been brought to me at our meeting earlier that there was one landowner that had some concerns about them being on the property. They had asked about that being on the property, and I got with Richard, and we were going to ask permission and turn around the next day, and they're there. Like, they're set up. But permission was not given, and I do apologize for that, and I will apologize in person, even though it's not really my job to, but they are doing work for us. These guys are eager and willing to work, and they didn't wait for permission. So I think that is handled, but I do apologize. There was another place in town that belonged to another customer of ours, and he's fine with it. You know, we've worked that out. But if you have any complaints with any of the contractors in town, call my office. We'll handle it. I have all their contacts and stuff, and so.
I know there's seen the white lines, the water line, sewer line. I guess when they bore in that, or are they going to tear up the road and then
what they're going to do is, before they start, so those white marks you're seeing in between manhole and manhole, that's where they're starting. Poplar Street, Main Street right now. So we're going ahead of them, marking up, but they will be digging up the customer services in that area, and then that long pipe you're seeing will be pulled through the existing. They have a hammer that's going to go through there, and it's going to, what they call burst. It's going to break the old clay pipe, pull the new pipe through, and then while that's dug up and exposed, they'll be re-tapping that customer before they move on to the next one. In the bid, so yes, they are going to be doing street and stuff before they move on. In the bid, it is fixed pavement, and go on. So if Charles has any concerns, it was bid that way. So if they don't do it to his expectation, we'll handle it. So, but it was in the bid. They bid replacing all the street cuts and everything.
Pretty good road.
And it's asphalt. It's not supposed to be. That was bid as asphalt. It wasn't bid as cold mix or anything else. So.
Well, that's part of that was my deal. I just circled the 10-year plan and your rate, and that's part of it. You're getting on. That infiltration is huge. So
yeah, we did get that loan. We did get the loan closing we talked about last month. We actually have done disbursement. We've received money. We've dispersed money out. I signed another disbursement to go to ANRC today on the other projects. So the other projects we discussed in the last meeting are getting started. The water treatment facilities getting worked on. I signed some disbursements for parts to be delivered today. We also signed disbursements for the sewer line project over here on the river crossing. We signed some disbursements for the first draws to be made on some of the wastewater plant stuff. So projects are getting started. We did send out an email to the contractors that got the painting of the tanks contract, and they have not responded. We asked for an update on the date, but we have done a disbursement for it because we had to do some work at a pump station to be able to allow to take the icing tank down. So the projects are getting started.
Good deal. Saw Wendell leave buying some rollers today, so he's probably helping with that.
He probably.
Yeah. Anything else for Will? Thank you very much. Brings us down to the zoning report. I will give that. I guess I am the zoning official at the present time. We had 9 building permits. I said 9, 4 and 5. Basically, people are getting the applications, and I'll talk to that at the next zoning meeting. 3 vendor permits were issued. Business license. One for biomechanics at the old Dodd Center, the old Dodd Therapy place right there on the corner there by JHS. And I don't know if I think I had 1, but there's actually 4 total. There were some renewals on that. Had 5 inspection, 1 sign permit, and 1 is that applied biomechanics that's going in there. Or the place I just mentioned that had the business license application or purchase. A street board, I mentioned that about Artelco. That's going to be going on downtown along with your sewer work, so there'll be a lot of street work going on. I mentioned the tower inquiry. I sent them to DL on that. I mentioned the drainage and erosion with Rob Waters down there. I've had another call. I've had the cleanup calls, so the two on 65, the one on Henderson, also Highway 16 East, straight up in town. And also there's an old burnout. I spoke to the person today that over that property, so dealing with that. Interviews for the zoning position. Someone's coming in tomorrow. That'll be the third one. Next week I have 7 scheduled, so there'll be 10 in all. So I'd like to decide by the end of this month. And we talked about, you talked about spring break. We'll probably meet on the A&P on the 20th that Thursday, but I'm going to go ahead and talk to the zoning official or commissioners. I'd still like to keep that to 27th. So we'll meet A&P at 6 o'clock on the 20th this month, and then the zoning, I'd like to keep it to the 27th, unless they're going to be gone. I don't know if they're going to be on spring, but I'm not. So, and if they're not, we'll go ahead and have that then. That's all I have. Any questions on zoning? Okay. Brings us down to unfinished business. There is none. The new business is the maintenance and destruction of accounting records from 2020. That's every 5 years. I think we can shred them. I'll turn that over to Dina, but I could be
No, it's
wrong.
yearly.
It's year. I know, but every 50 year though, right? At 5 years old, you get rid of them.
Yes. Well, some of the records, but yes, these. This is something we do every year pursuant to state statute 14.2.201, 14.2.203 to keep up with destroying our records. Deputy Recorder Treasurer Sheila Talley and I will be the ones destroying the records by shredding. We will destroy all 2020 records that can be destroyed per the statute. We put all that on an affidavit after we get finished and we sign it. So we just need a motion to grant permission to destroy the records for the year 2020, the city records.
So a second.
Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes?
Yes.
Hastings?
Yes.
Lynch?
Yes.
Pistol?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Thank you.
The next is a resolution to amend the 2024 budget. I'll let Dina. Oh, I have that. I can read that. Entertain a motion a second for this resolution. It's a resolution providing for the amendment of the budget of the City of Clinton, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1st, 2024 and ending December 31st, 2024, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for. And I think it was the title sufficient. We do this every year. I'll entertain a motion and
So moved.
second to adopt
To
this.
adopt the resolution by title.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? I'll call for a vote.
Barnes?
Yes.
Hastings?
Yes.
Lynch?
Yes.
Pistol?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
2025-05.
Thank you. Brings us down to the last resolution. This is a resolution designating and authorizing the mayor to renew a food services management agreement with the Chamber of Commerce. We also do this every year. They have the first right of refusal. I think Jason is down there. The concession stand's open now. I think they're doing a good job. I'll entertain a motion in a second to adopt this resolution to enter into agreement for another year to lease the concession stands.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, discussion?
Do we ever get a statement? I know we know how much they paid us. Do we ever get a statement of that?
I don't personally get one. Get a end of the year report. I know that every year we do our budget, that comes up. How much is it? So, to my knowledge, no.
I mean, they give us something. Whenever they turn that in, I'll have to look and see. And I can give it to you or whatever.
Do you think we're breaking even as far as?
Last year, we raised $238.62.
How much?
No.
$238.62
That's what they paid us.
last year.
That won't cover the electric bill one night.
Can we just make that a set monthly fee or?
It's like a rent.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about looking at the books.
Right. Whatever the electric bill is, where we need to cover our expenses.
I mean, right now, what it says is the first 50,000 is 10% of net.
Net, not gross.
Yeah, 10% of net.
So, I mean, it should be,
Anytime you're trying to collect some sort of royalty or revenue-based thing, unless, you have to rely upon them to provide information, you gotta kind of look into it. So, I mean, rent is easier for you. Your problem, though, is softball's about to start. So, I don't know. Yeah.
It's playing right
So
now.
that's your problem, is I don't know if you can put it off to the April meeting. You want to have the concession stand open.
That's right, yeah.
Oh,
I think
I'm
I
for going
heard.
ahead and doing this year myself personally, but I think it's something we need to be between now and before it gets here again next year. We need to be putting some thought into what we really want to do with it.
we talk about this about every year, and it's the same.
Yeah, but always on the night that we're fixing to
Oh, I know,
having to
yeah,
do it. So.
And I mean, I just got through spending, what, $10,000?
Yeah.
Redoing the air conditioner in it, fixing the ceiling, and fixing the leaks in the roof.
we put way more money than ever get out of it.
We put it up for bid before, and I don't know. It was kind of lack of interest there for a while. So I don't know if that'd be the option, is put it up for bid again.
That's fine, and whoever's on the parks, I think you, and you? I'll check.
Not that I
And
know
Sam,
of.
he does everything.
I don't think I'm.
Well, I think we need to do something. I mean, go ahead and do this, but start like next month working on what we want to do for next year. That way we don't wait till last minute next time. While it's still on our mind, let's get it finished.
And you gotta
Get it
look at
figured
it
out.
too.
I'll put it on the agenda for
That
next
gives them
month.
plenty of time. If they don't like that,
Sure,
they
sure.
can say, well, then we can put it out for bids.
Well, they can, yeah.
You gotta look at it too, that y'all used to give the chamber money to help with the chili cook-offs and all that stuff, so this way, they're actually earning their money, even though it's not making money or breaking even, but you're not budgeted in this $3,500 or $4,000 at the end of the year, so they can run the chili cook-off and all the little events, so. And this way, they're working and earning it, so I look at it that way too, so I mean.
I do, and then I
don't
look
be
at the
biased
concession
because
stand
it's
is open when it needs to be.
Well, the big hang up I have with the chamber is there isn't one. You've got Jason and Carrie. There's not a board. There's not a president, a vice president. They don't have. There's not what it used to be. And as long as it's the Jason and Carrie show, I'm not going to vote to fund it.
I'm with you on that one too, so I mean, there's all kinds of points to look at it.
Yeah.
It was $238 last year, you said?
That's what we received, $238.62.
$5 a week. Surely they're making that on a cheeseburger, on a candy bar.
Did we vote?
We don't have it yet, we're still discussing.
It's about 47 hamburgers.
We've got discussion. Anything else? So, for another year, and we'll put it on the agenda for April, to start the process. I will call for a vote.
Lawrence,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Williams, Pistol,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
2025-06.
Thank you. Brings us down to public comments. Charles?
We're fixing to start tomorrow on cleaning out the new building. I have a whole bunch of old leftover weed eaters and stuff we've used through the years. I just gonna let everybody know I'm fixing to throw them away finally. I think there's about 15 or 20 in there, they're junk, but we're gonna clean out. We're gonna start stripping everything out. Richard and I both wanna get that project cleaned up and get us a parking lot too.
Gia's got a
Pretty quick.
birthday coming up, so I'll be there early.
So we're gonna clean all that up and dispose of. Most of that stuff in there is junk. It's not been used in 5 or 6 years. So we're fixing.
Somebody can fix it,
dispose of
so.
No, it's, if I can't fix it, they ain't nobody gonna fix it.
No, I'm sure someone can fix it. Come get it. Yeah. Good deal.
Yes, yeah, well, it'll take us all day tomorrow to do that one side.
Yeah, so I'll just give you next week on my stuff. Yeah. Somebody has to borrow your dump truck.
Anyone else?
Watch the weather tomorrow.
Huh?
Watch the weather.
Watch the weather for sure. Thank you. I'll get a few calls on that. Big items, I will put on the concession stand next month also. I had somewhere the three things. One is the annexation I want to talk about. I want to talk about the erosion stuff down there. I think I want that on the agenda. If there's something we need to do on that. Also, the big ticket items is fire station, obviously, we've allotted the money for that. Police station remodel and build with the cars, you mentioned that. The lighting, that Donnie was here tonight, I'll have some numbers on that. The auditorium row, the bedding of that, Charles looked at it and is really right. There's a lot of dirt up high and there's a lot of dirt needs down low. So somebody can get with an excavator, and I think we can, that can be done, work with the school. You've been helping the school's been working with us, and so we work well together. So I hope we can get that road going. I mentioned the state aid. We'll get to re-up for that Monday. I'll have the bottom line on the TAP 2 grant, the sidewalk from the skate park up to McDonald's and on up to the joining 65 from the fountain, and also the new little strip up there that cuts across to the pollinator meadow when you go under the bridge. I have airport down. Maybe it was something, if there's anything that Trevor, that we find out Monday or anything. Also, I hadn't forgot the large pavilion down there. I think we're trying to keep that at a reasonable. I talked to Mitzi the other day, and I didn't she never got back with me on that. And if there's any other thing you want to throw in there, holler at me. That's all I have under public comment. Mayor's comments. Congratulations to Ellie McCormick, certified court reporter and notary. So, hey, you can get stuff notarized now for free. I mentioned the April agenda. Airport meeting is Monday. Several people, members of the community passed. You hate to mention anybody. You leave somebody out. No, Cletus Witt and also Joe Swafford, a big part of this community for sure. I think Rich and Joyce Webb was 80. How many? 68. 68-year anniversary. DL's parents. That's amazing. Wow. So congratulations on that. Van Buren County events list. Dale James is putting something together for that, so we don't have a lot of overlap. I do appreciate that. Donkey basketball is Saturday. Color Run's April the 5th. Saturday, don't forget that. April the 6th, the PD Baptist Church with a lot of other churches are going to be down at the park from about 5 to 7:30, praying for the welfare of our city. They've been every week going around all the corners around the city and in the county. And Kyle Blanton and that crew over there. So I did want to mention that. I do appreciate that. And Emily Raines is engaged with, if you see a shadow, it's not an eagle, it's her wedding ring. So if you want to see the master of courtship, look at the ring that her beau bought her. It's pretty amazing. I was impressed. And finally, I'll end it with a big thanks to Warren Johnson, who's never here but always here. He brings probably more people attend the city council than ever had in all these because of him. He does it at no charge to anyone except himself and his wife. And we've told him before, but we really, really, really appreciate him. So if you see Warren Johnson, tell him thanks for spending I don't know how much on all this equipment. So if you have a problem, feel free to, who are we calling? Will Hinchy, 253-8177. Any issue with anything in the city? If nothing else, I'll entertain them. Oh,
Richard, you mentioned earlier about the donkey basketball, but also there's a fundraising event for the Ozark Health at the fairgrounds Saturday night also.
Okay. I'll have the ambulance take me over there.
Saturday night. It's like a
that's right.
Casino night.
Yeah. You might could win at this one. Don't stop in Oklahoma.
It's it's like a fundraiser. It's made up casino, not real casino.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thanks for mentioning that. I'll entertain a motion second to adjourn.
So moved.
Stand adjourned. Thank you.